Backstage report on who was responsible for Brock Lesnar's very odd defeat at Backlash by Cody Rhodes. The best and worst of Backlash 2023. WWE wants major star to return for SummerSlam. Triple H to redo an old botched storyline with current superstars. Bray Wyatt coming back. Why did fans boo Bianca Belair? 46-year-old star targeting Roman Reigns after losing at Backlash 2023. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of Backlash 2023. Welcome to the special edition of Best and Worst of Backlash 2023. It certainly was one for the books, and the incredible Puerto Rican crowd ensured that the weekend was a memorable one. There were a lot of ups and downs, but overall, it was a memorable premium live event. We now set the stage for Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, where a new world heavyweight champion will be crowned. But before we get to all of that, let's jump right into what was an incredible night in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Number 3. Best, Io Sky's incredible performance at Backlash 2023. Io Sky got one of the best reactions of the night at Backlash 2023. The show opened with the Raw Women's Championship match, and to everyone's surprise, Sky received a hero's welcome, whereas Bianca Belair was getting booed. It got so loud that even Corey Graves had to acknowledge the reaction. Io Sky used the platform and delivered her best match on the main roster so far. She ultimately fell short thanks to Bayley, who held Bianca Belair's hair and inadvertently cost her the match. Fans seem to think that the match foreshadowed the end of Damage Control, and we can't help but agree. One thing seems to be certain: Io Sky is in line for a huge singles push. Number 2. Worst, the Bloodline Bathroom Break match. The co-main event of Backlash 2023 saw the Bloodline trio of the Usos and Solo Sikoa face Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. There was a brief moment when Sikoa was ready to turn on Jey Uso, and he urged him to do it. It was about the only brilliant moment in the match, as the rest of it was quite forgettable. The fact that it was sandwiched between the Bad Bunny match and the main event was a sign that it was never going to succeed in the first place. But it felt like the biggest toilet break match on the card, which is a shame given that it wasn't too long ago when this was the hottest story in all of wrestling. Number 2. Best, Seth Rollins versus Omos over-delivers. As we expected, Seth Rollins gave Omos the best match of his career at Backlash 2023. It's perhaps a good sign, since the Nigerian giant can work with smaller and more credible stars. Despite the defeat, Omos looked good coming out of it. It took 3 stomps for the Visionary to get the win, and the third one was from the top turnbuckle. Ultimately, Seth Rollins won the match, but it delivered well beyond expectations. Number 1. Worst, the laziest finish possible to the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar ended controversially after the American Nightmare won with a roll-up pin. The main talking point of the Backlash 2023 main event was the fact that Lesnar got busted open badly. Other than that, the match itself was and Bad Bunny headlining the show would have been a better idea. We know that Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar can do a lot better, and we fully expect the feud to continue in some form until the summer of 2023. Number 1. Best, Bad Bunny's show-stealing performance. Bad Bunny was the man of the hour at Backlash 2023. He received a huge ovation in his home country, Puerto Rico. He faced Damian Priest in a chaotic but epic street fight match. Damian Priest had a star-making performance in his own right. Bad Bunny also stole the show with his performance, proving that he is one of the 2 best celebrity wrestlers of all time, likely just behind Logan Paul. His performance was arguably even better than that at WrestleMania 37, and his respect for the business showed. There was a distinct lack of selling in the matches before, until Damian Priest and Bad Bunny changed that. The involvement of Savio Vega, LBO, and Carlito Cullen made fans go crazy. A sure got to Carlito for spitting on Dominic Mysterio. Bad Bunny winning was the right decision, and he truly earned his victory. WWE wants major star to return for SummerSlam. While still 3 months away, SummerSlam is WWE's next big premium live event. As a result, it makes sense that the company has some plans for the show right now. A few big matches and moments might already be lined up for August as per the latest reports. One of them could feature a certain megastar who stole the show at Backlash. Bad Bunny defeated Damian Priest in an epic San Juan street fight that featured heavy shenanigans, big moves, and a satisfying conclusion. According to WRKD Wrestling on Twitter, many superstars lined up at the gorilla position to celebrate with him. The tweet also stated that there are backstage hopes within WWE that the musician will appear at SummerSlam in some form. Here's what they said, in case it wasn't apparent. Bad Bunny's #Backlash match absolutely exceeded expectations backstage, with many superstars lined up at Gorilla to celebrate with him. There's hopes backstage in using him in some form for #SummerSlam, tweeted WRKD Wrestling. This is possible, as Bad Bunny has clearly been enjoying his time in WWE. As long as he is available, the Latin rapper could have a role at the biggest party of the summer. Whether it is another match or a simple guest appearance, fans will undoubtedly be delighted to welcome him back. Triple H to redo an old botched storyline with current superstars. Triple H is one of the biggest names in the wrestling world at the moment. In the current scenario, while Vince McMahon might have returned to WWE, Triple H still has a lot of power over creative and current programming. In his position, he might decide to try and redo one of the biggest stories with a lot of potential that WWE had botched badly the last time. More than a decade ago, WWE had brought up the Nexus from the first season of NXT to make them claim their place on the main roster. On that occasion, the team, led by Wade Barrett, ran riot over the WWE roster and defeated everyone that they came across. However, just when they were about to get the big win that would let him push it over the mark and establish the Nexus as the biggest threat, John Cena defeated them in a multi-man tag team match at SummerSlam instead. The loss remains one of the worst in WWE history, as it killed the faction off slowly after that. Triple H has the chance to redo it without botching it this time. With the WWE draft taking place, multiple stars were left undrafted at the end. As a result, they have every right to feel unwanted since they were not selected on either Raw or SmackDown. The anger might boil over into them forming a faction. Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Omos, MVP, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and a few others have all been left undrafted. Together, they could easily make a powerful faction that would pose a threat to anyone in WWE. Triple H could help them form the faction and then, instead of having them lose too soon, could make them a threat to everyone on the roster. Not only single stars, but any faction too would be in trouble. The undrafted stars could beat up the Judgment Day, the LDO, and even Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. This could, in the long run, even lead to a War Games match. If WWE booked it well enough, the story could be one of the biggest of the year heading into SummerSlam and Survivor Series. Now it remains to be seen if WWE opts for this or not. Would you like to see the undrafted superstars as a faction? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Bray Wyatt coming back. Bray Wyatt hasn't been seen on WWE TV for several months. It appears that his fanbase hasn't forgotten about him since many jumped on what could have been a potential return tease for the former champion tonight at Backlash. Midway through the show, a creature appeared behind the announce table in full view of the camera with a sign that read, "I do exist, #FeedYourWildSide." It's unclear if this was clever advertising, but several fans on Twitter have jumped to the assumption that it could be connected to Bray Wyatt since he has a fondness for creatures. Whilst there are a number of fans who believe that Bray Wyatt could be behind the appearance of this creature, there are others who are convinced otherwise. There is a chance that this could be some clever advertising for jerky, which appears to have worked almost too well since the photo has become a huge trend on Twitter, and the world is now talking about it for all the wrong reasons. The most recent update from Wyatt was that he was struggling with a physical issue and went undrafted as part of the recent WWE draft, which means that he could return to the company on any brand. There was no timeline on when Wyatt would make his comeback, which means that it could be following Backlash. Wyatt was last seen ahead of WrestleMania 39 when he was part of a feud with Bobby Lashley, but their storyline was canceled since Wyatt was pulled from the show. It's unclear if the company would want to pick that back up when he makes his return. Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy had their own storyline going on before his hiatus, and the big question was who Howdy was. Since Wyatt was forced off-screen earlier this year, Howdy hasn't been seen, and it's now unclear whether or not he actually was Bo Dallas. The two men were also connected to Alexa Bliss, who hasn't been seen since her loss to Bianca Belair back at the Royal Rumble. Could this mysterious creature have something to do with the return of the trio in the coming weeks? Do you think this mysterious creature's presence at Backlash was a tease for the return of Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Why did fans boo Bianca Belair? Both Bianca Belair and Io Sky got tremendous reaction at WWE Backlash 2023 as soon as their entrance music blasted through the speakers of Coliseo de Puerto Rico Jose Miguel Aguilar. However, the crowd reaction shifted heavily in favor of the Damage Control member as the match progressed. Bianca Belair got heavily booed by the crowd at WWE Backlash. A possible explanation for the polarizing reaction to the champion can be Io Sky's incredible popularity in Puerto Rico. Another reason could be that fans are fed up with Belair's lengthy title reign and wanted to see a new winner at the premium live event. Io Sky had the momentum in her corner for the most part of the match at WWE Backlash 2023. The Damage Control star worked to destroy Bianca Belair's insane core strength by constantly targeting her abdomen with brutal strikes. Bianca's strength was on full display at WWE Backlash as she picked up her opponent effortlessly. The champ then lifted Io over her shoulders with one arm. The ESD apparently failed to slam her opponent on her abdomen as Io Sky reversed the move to land the champion on her face. Later on during the match, Io hit a picture-perfect moonsault from the top of turnbuckle to the outside. Bayley and Dakota Kai tried to interfere, but the referee caught them red-handed in their action. Io missed her moonsault and got hit by the KOD from Bianca to end the match. The EST was drafted to Raw in a shocking announcement by Triple H as part of the WWE Draft 2023. The champion was the third overall pick in the draft that took place 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Bianca's husband Montez Ford was also drafted to the Blue brand along with Angelo Dawkins. Bianca appeared in a pre-tape promo wherein she said she was excited to return to SmackDown. The EST reminded the fans that SmackDown was the place that started her journey to world title glory. The draft will go into effect after Backlash. It remains to be seen how Triple H will book Bianca's run after WWE Backlash 2023. Are you happy that the EST retained her title? Let us know in the comments. 46-year-old star targeting Roman Reigns after losing at Backlash 2023. Roman Reigns is by default the man who everyone targets in WWE, especially since he has been the guy for a long time now. There is one superstar who he has surprised surprisingly never defended the undisputed Universal title against. The 46-year-old star is seemingly targeting the tribal chief and told Michael Cole of his intention. That superstar is none other than the almighty Bobby Lashley, who just got drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. While he had a chance to take back the United States Championship, he fell short to Austin Theory, who stole the pin on Bronson Reed to retain the title. What was interesting to note was that during the match, Michael Cole teased that Bobby Lashley wanted to go after Roman Reigns. When Cole asked what Lashley was looking for on SmackDown, he simply said Roman Reigns. Bobby Lashley and the tribal chief had an intense feud before the summer of 2018. Lashley is technically the last person to have a clean singles win over Reigns, as he defeated him at Extreme Rules 2018. Unfortunately, Reigns got the win back 8 days later to qualify to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, where he won the Universal Championship for the first time. Backstage report on who was responsible for Brock Lesnar's very odd defeat at Backlash by Cody Rhodes. Brock Lesnar's night didn't go according to plan at WWE Backlash. His loss to Cody Rhodes shocked the fans and left most of them speechless. Now, a report appears to have revealed the man responsible for booking the match. The star had attacked Cody Rhodes after pretending to team with him back on Raw after WrestleMania. While the real reason he attacked the American Nightmare was never really explained in detail, it was clear that it had led to bad blood between the two of them. Blood really played a big part in the match, as Lesnar was bleeding quite profusely for large portions of the bout. In the end, it looked like the Beast was walking away with the win when he had Cody locked in the Kimura lock. However, Brock Lesnar was caught unawares when Cody lifted himself up and pinned him out of nowhere, getting the quick 3 count for the win. No one had expected such an ending, and the report from Fightful Select has now revealed the man backstage in WWE responsible for producing the match and booking it. Michael Hayes was the one responsible for the match, so it appears the type of ending was also his call. Lesnar was visibly distraught after the loss and was unsure of how to process it. However, with the World Heavyweight Championship tournament coming up, it's not certain what's next for Lesnar. Who do you want to see Brock Lesnar face next? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted.